Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Glowing Card Gaming. We're here, and it is time for Week 6 picks of all the NFL games in Week 6. Thank you for joining me again on Glowing Card Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this out. Hit the notification for when new videos are published and when I go live with Command & Conquer and video game gameplays on both the PlayStation and the PC here. So, with all of that said, thank you for watching, and let's get into it. I already kind of made this video once before. As I mentioned on the previous video, I went ahead and recorded this, but I didn't have the headset on, so the mic didn't pick up any of the recording, so we're doing it all over again, which is why the selections have already been made. But the reasoning behind them, I've got to lay down again. Here in the first game, game one, so to speak, of the week, the Niners are at the Seahawks, so they're away, and it's going to be a close game. I don't think the Niners are as good as everybody thought they were at the beginning of the year. I also think the Seahawks are slightly better, and with them being at home, plus 3.5 is kind of an easy pick there. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks plus 3.5. Go right to the next few games. We'll just give them all to you all at once. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at Chicago Bears. Jaguars are awful this season. Bears are somewhat okay. Probably a playoff team, a wild card at the very least. NFC North is a tougher division most years. I'm not so sure about this year, other than the Vikings are dominating. So that being said, Jacksonville is just awful. Bears are okay, better. At home, minus 2.5, I think they cover. Here, the next game, the Browns and Eagles, does need some explanation. I mean, the Browns being as bad as they are bad. But the Eagles are not that great. They don't look that great. All that being said, I know the Eagles are at home. I get that. But I don't think the Eagles win by 8.5. That's really the key here. I think they win, and they may win by 3 or 7 or something like that. But I think it is within a one-score game. I don't think it goes outside of that. That's why I picked the Browns plus 8.5. Hopefully they will cover. Now, the next pick also needs some explanation. The Arizona Cardinals at the Green Bay Packers. I picked the Cardinals plus 5.5. First of all, they beat the Niners last week by 1, which I thought the Niners were a better team than that. Arizona doesn't seem to be that great of a team, but now I think the Niners are not as good as everybody thought they were. But I think the Cardinals might be slightly better. Or maybe the Cardinals are actually better than everybody gave them credit for, and the Niners just had a hard time with them. So if that's the case, the Cardinals may win this game this week against Green Bay. Again, I know Green Bay is at home, and that they're playing the Cardinals, who are just not as good. But do I think Green Bay wins? Probably, but only by maybe a field goal. So I'm going to take Arizona plus 5 here. The next game, I think this might be pretty easy to call. I wouldn't say this is the lock of the week by any means, but the Houston Texans are really good, and the Patriots are really bad. Texans minus 7, I think they do cover that. 7's a lot, but I think warranted in this case. The Texans probably win by double digits or better. So that, I think, is an easier call to make, although 7 is a lot of points to give up. Moving on, we got the Colts at Tennessee. First of all, Tennessee's at home. It is a divisional rivalry game. Divisional rivalries usually play each other tough. Um, and with the Titans being at home, both of the teams being somewhat even, I think the home field advantage gets it done for the Titans. And you're going to give me one on top of that, I'm going to take it. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Bucks again at the New Orleans Saints. Using the same logic, I don't think the Bucks are quite as good as maybe everybody was saying at the beginning of the season. The Saints are at home. This is a divisional rivalry game. They always play each other tougher. So I'm going to take the Saints at home plus 3.5. I know I've been taking the Saints a little bit and taking the L's, but I think this one probably is a win. I always believe that though, so who knows? Again, sometimes I'm not sure who's watching football week in and week out. The Washington Commanders are at 4-1. The Ravens are 3-2. The Commanders are better than most people are giving them credit for. I get that the Ravens are at home. This is not a divisional rivalry game. So I just think that Washington's going to play tougher. Washington might actually just win this game. So you're going to give me 6.5 points on top of that. I'm going to take it. I think it's pretty easy on that one. I wouldn't say again that was the lock of the week. Like this game, this is the pick that will come true for sure. The next one is probably more of a lock than this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas Raiders. If you watched the game last week, I think the Raiders got exposed by the Denver Broncos last week. It was pretty ridiculous. The Raiders just not that good. Steelers are better outright. -3 I think is pretty accurate, although I think the Steelers probably win by maybe 7. So I'm going to take the Steelers to cover -3. This next one I really have a problem with. I can't believe they're giving the Chargers the favorite. I can't believe the Chargers are the favorite. Denver Broncos are at home. An AFC West rivalry game. Denver's D is outstanding. Did nobody watch the game last week? Did they not see how well Denver started to do on offense? They got the running game together. They got those short out passes and screens working, the slants. They got the long ball working. This is becoming a very complete team very quickly. They are going to be scary. This game right here is going to be very telling because the Chargers played the Chiefs fairly close. I think the Chargers probably should have won that. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are 5-0. I mean, they are 5-0. I believe that is a reality and a fact. But I don't believe that the record shows their strength and how good the Chiefs really are. I think they're worse than that. They should probably be 3-2, 2-3, maybe even 1-4. I mean, every game has been so close. It's been within one score. The Chargers were kind of that exception where I think the Chiefs won by 6. And the Saints did get kind of blown out by the Chiefs last week on that Monday night. So there is something to be said about that. Again, I didn't watch that game, so I don't know how good the Chiefs are. But I can't believe they are giving Denver at home plus 3 points. This is probably the lock of the week. Denver plus 3, done. Lock it in. The Falcons -6 at Carolina. Again, this is a divisional rivalry. So they tend to play each other all tough and not like they normally are doing throughout the season. So it's a little tougher to pick, but Carolina's just so bad. Again, I think the Falcons probably do win this by more than 6, so I'll take them. Detroit Lions, the whole season I've been thinking they're probably a Super Bowl contender. Dallas, probably a playoff contender, but not a Super Bowl one. So all that being said, I think they got the line pretty correct. Although Dallas being at home, you never know what'll happen. This is kind of a risk. This is probably the risk pick of the week. I'm not for sure that the Lions will win this by 3. It's probably a smarter pick to go ahead and pick Dallas at home +3, but I'm going to go with Detroit on this one. The next game, the Bengals at the Giants. Giants just put on a little bit of a show last week, winning by 9. That being said, they're at home, and I think they'll probably win this. They'll probably win it. I don't think the Bengals will win this, much less by 3.5. So again, this is pretty locked in, I think, as well. Moving on to the final game, the Jets just fired their head coach. They're kind of in disarray and just I don't think they really know what they're doing. The problem is firing their coach before this Monday night game is a huge problem. The problem being that they're probably listening to Aaron Rodgers in the owner's box and in the management, and they shouldn't be. You need to be making smart business football decisions. And if you're listening to Rodgers, I'm not sure that's what you're getting. The Jets are going to be in disarray. They could have been leading the division with a win. Instead, they're going to lose this game, and they're going to drop to probably the bottom of the division in the AFC East. Unfortunate. The Bills -2.5. I think they do that. Again, they give the spread for a reason. People in Vegas know what they're doing. So if you're betting, just be careful. Don't bet more than you have. And as always, I recommend you taking care of family, friends, all of that stuff that you need to take care of first. So make sure you're taking care of them. And also, there's been one hurricane. There's getting ready to be another hurricane down in the Florida, Carolinas area, Georgia, and they need a lot of help. So you might think about donating to those guys. Again, I would donate to a church that's going to help them out, or some of the sheriff's departments, or some of that to take care of those needs. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to say too much more, but that's what I'd recommend personally. But if you got a little extra coin, even after all of that, and you want to bet, hey, I'm the Jim Cramer, so pick against me the whole way. Although I did go 7-7 last week, so only pick half of the games against me. Which half? That's the real question. If you knew that, you should totally bet that, and you should bet the house on that. Now, that being said, if you think you do know where I went wrong this week and what teams, where I missed it, and you're going to actually bet, go for it. And I do hope you run the table. I do hope that you pick 14 out of 14 and parlay it and get a big payday. I can't remember. It doesn't show what it is here, but I think if you get 14 games parlay, you pick them all correct. I want to say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere between $175,000 and $200,000 on a $20 bet. So, do you like long shots? You think you're good? You think you can pick 16 or 14 games every week? Be my guest. Try it. But again, what I said earlier, make sure you're taking care of your family, your friends, your neighbors. Really just take care of people first. And then whatever you want to do after that. Again, this is just me saying that. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to my picks. I do appreciate you watching the channel. And again, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification button, all of that stuff, comment. Especially share, like, and comment, because those things get the channel out to the algorithm, especially sharing. That'll have a lot of other people viewing it, and if they share it out, and subscribing and sharing are the two big ones. So we can try to get monetized on this channel and maybe um, do this more for a living and have a smoother, cleaner, edited videos instead of me just doing these one takes and hoping it all goes well. All right, enough of me, more of you. Um, Again, thank you for watching Glowing Card Gaming. As always, be good to each other, and I'll see you next time.